Under the silver light of a restless moon, the night wind carried whispers through the tall palm trees. Somewhere beyond the dark fields, a girl named Amina sat awake on her mat, listening. She had always feared the quiet, because silence in her house never meant peace. It meant that her stepmother, Mama Fola, was thinking of new ways to make her suffer. Amina was only 18, yet her hands were rough from pounding yam and scrubbing floors. Since her real mother's death, her father, Baba Jide, had remarried the woman who now ruled their home like a storm. To outsiders, Mama Fola was the picture of kindness. Her laughter rang in the marketplace. Her smile fooled even the elders. But once the doors closed, her face hardened and her tongue turned into fire. Amina did everything. Fetched water from the stream before sunrise, swept the compound till dust stung her eyes, and cooked for the family. Still, her stepmother served her cold pap, while her own children feasted on hot stew with meat. Baba Jide never saw the cruelty. He left for the farm before dawn and returned after dark, too tired to notice the tears in his daughter's eyes. Amina hid her pain because she didn't want to burden him. But one moonlit night, something strange stirred in the air. She woke to a murmur outside, voices rising and falling like waves. Peering through the cracked window, she saw shadows moving toward the backyard. Four women, wrapped in black wrappers, walked in a slow circle. One of them looked exactly like her stepmother. Curiosity and dread fought inside her chest. Amina slipped quietly outside, her bare feet brushing against cold earth. She hid behind a mango tree and watched. The women formed a ring around a small fire, their eyes glinting red in the flame's reflection. They began to chant in a language Amina had never heard before. The fire danced higher, and one woman spoke. "It is time. A strong life must go." "Yes," Mama Fola's voice answered. "My husband's spirit will bring us power. In 3 nights, he will belong to us." Amina gasped. Her father! They were planning to kill him. She turned to run, but her foot snapped a dry twig. The sound echoed like thunder. "Someone is there," one woman shouted. "Catch her!" Mama Fola screamed. Amina ran as fast as her legs could carry her, her heart slamming in her chest. But the night grew thick. A cloud of black smoke swirled before her, stinging her eyes. She coughed and stumbled. The last thing she saw was Mama Fola's furious face and a flash of red light. Then darkness swallowed her whole. When she opened her eyes, the world looked wrong. The grass seemed taller. The stones looked bigger. She tried to speak, but only a bleat escaped her mouth. She looked down and froze. She had hooves. She had horns. Amina had been turned into a goat. Mama Fola laughed coldly and tied a rope around her neck. "Now let us see how you warn your father," she whispered, her eyes glinting like wet coal. At dawn, Baba Jide called out, "Amina, bring me water." But there was no answer. He searched around, frowning. Mama Fola put on a sad face. She went to the market early. She lied smoothly. Meanwhile, she carried a basket on her head, hiding Amina, now a trembling goat, under dried fish and peppers. At the market, she tied the goat to a post and shouted, "Strong goat for sale. Very healthy." Amina's heart broke as hands touched her back and pulled her ears. She tried to cry for help, but her voice came out as weak bleats. Mimi. Hours passed. Then a young man named Kwame approached. His clothes were worn, and his face looked tired but kind. "How much for this goat?" he asked softly. Mama Fola smiled. "For you, 6 cowries." He paid her, untied the rope, and led the goat home. Amina's heart sank. She thought she would end up as stew before nightfall. Kwame lived at the edge of the village with his father, Baba Kweku, and his younger brother. When they reached home, Baba Kweku said, "This goat will make a fine meal tomorrow." He tied her to a post near the tree and went inside. Later, a small boy came out, barefoot, wearing a torn red shirt. His name was Kojo. He crouched near the goat, studying her closely. "You look strange," he whispered. "Your eyes, they look like a person's." Amina's heart fluttered. She tried again, forcing her mouth to move. A faint whisper escaped. "Help me." Kojo's eyes widened. "What? You spoke." "Yes," she whispered weakly. "I am not a goat. My name is Amina. My stepmother did this to me. She plans to kill my father." Kojo stumbled back, trembling, but when he saw her tears, he nodded slowly. "Don't worry, I'll help you." They both froze as Baba Kweku's voice boomed from inside. "Kojo, sharpen the knife." We'll cook the goat tomorrow. The boy's heart raced. He leaned close. I'll find a way to save you. That night, he couldn't sleep. The moonlight poured through the window, and the crickets sang like they knew a secret. Kojo whispered a prayer to the stars, then remembered a story his father once told him about a wise elder named Elder Ose, who could undo curses and speak with the spirits. Before dawn, Kojo begged his father, "Papa, please. Let's take the goat to Elder Ose. Something is not right." Baba Kweku frowned. "Nonsense. It's just a goat. Please, Papa. Trust me this once." The old man sighed. "Fine. If that will make you quiet, we go." Together they walked through the dusty path until they reached a clay hut draped with hanging herbs. Wooden carvings guarded the doorway. Smoke curled from a small fire. Elder Ose stepped out, his white hair shining under the sun. His eyes were sharp like a hawk's. "I have been waiting," he said softly. Baba Kweku frowned. "Waiting for what?" The elder didn't answer. He touched the goat's head gently. Amina let out a soft whisper. "Help me." The old man's eyes widened. "Ah. So it is true. This is no animal." He sprinkled white powder over her, chanting words older than memory. The air grew still. The leaves froze midsway. Then the goat began to change. Her horns melted away, her hooves stretched into fingers, her body shimmered like light in water. When the glow faded, Amina knelt on the ground, trembling but human again. Baba Kweku and Kojo gasped. "By the spirits," the father whispered. Amina told them everything: the cruel stepmother, the midnight ritual, the plot to kill her father. Elder Ose nodded gravely. "Then you must go. The third night is near. Warn your father before the moon rises again." Barefoot, Amina ran back through the red dust, her breath ragged, her heart on fire. In the village, Baba Jide sat outside, worry etched into his face. Suddenly, he heard a voice cry, "Papa." He turned and saw his daughter, dirty, weak but alive. He ran to her and caught her in his arms. She wept as she told him everything. The villagers gathered quickly. Mama Fola shouted, "Lies. How can a person turn into a goat?" But the people murmured uneasily. Then the drummers of the king arrived, summoning everyone to the square. Under the great Irako tree, King Abadil sat on his wooden throne, his crown gleaming in the afternoon light. Amina spoke before him, her voice shaking but strong. She told the entire story again. When she finished, the king turned to Mama Fola. "What do you say?" Mama Fola tried to laugh. "My king, this is foolishness." The king raised his staff. "Bring the water of truth." A guard came forward with a calabash filled with clear water. "Drink," said the king. Mama Fola's hands trembled. She swallowed the water. For a moment, all was silent. Then she screamed. Her body shook, her eyes rolled. "It is true," she cried. "I did it. I am guilty. The spirits promise me power if I sacrifice my husband." The crowd roared in horror. Women covered their mouths. Men spat on the ground. Baba Jide's face burned with grief and anger. The king's voice thundered. "You have betrayed your home and your husband. From this day, you are banished. You shall never return to this land." The warriors dragged her away as her wails echoed through the forest path. Her children were taken in by kind relatives, and peace slowly returned to Baba Jide's home. That night, father and daughter sat outside, watching the moon rise. "Forgive me," Baba Jide whispered. "I should have protected you." Amina leaned her head on his shoulder. "I forgive you, Papa. The darkness is gone now." The wind carried the sound of drums from the distant hills. Somewhere, Kojo looked up at the same moon and smiled. He knew he had helped a girl who was almost lost forever. And so the story ends, not with sorrow, but with hope. Moral of the story: evil may hide for a time, but truth will always find a way to shine. A wicked heart may plot in darkness, but the dawn belongs to those whose hearts are pure. You have not enough humanizer words left. Upgrade your surfer plan.